Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to R Squared Technology. I'm your host Ryan, and let's get ready to SolidWorks. Happy Friday everyone, and welcome back to yet another tutorial video from the Beginner's Guide to SolidWorks 2022 Level 1. Link in the description as always where you can pick up a copy to follow along. And today we are starting into Chapter 3. We will then loop back to finish two parts from Chapter 2. But in the meantime, we're going to start on page 247, section 8.1 with the cup. Now this cup, more specifically, is going to look like a mug. So with that, let's get started. Alright, to start this off, we're going to create a open sketch this time. Previously mentioned, if I haven't already, when you create sketches and you want to create certain features, if you do not close the sketch, it creates a thin feature. Well, now we're going to employ a thin feature. So, with that, section 8.1, we're going to start out by doing a sketch for a revolve feature. So, we will choose my front plane, Control 8 to bring it normal to, come over here to the Sketch tab. We're going to start with the center line, and we'll make the bottom of the center line coincident to the origin, drag up, keeping a vertical relation, click anywhere, right click, choose select. We can leave this under defined. Again, this is going to be the only center line we have in this sketch, that way it becomes our axis of revolution. So from here, we can begin our sketch. And we're going to get all the lines done, so we'll drag about here. And in a previous video, we learned that if you gesture backwards, we can create an arc like such, and then we can drag out like such. Right-click, choose Select to close out of sketching a line. Now from here, we're going to give ourselves some dimensions. This is going to be a radius of 0.25 as such. And then finally, we're going to give this a diameter from the center line here of 3.5, but notice right now it's in a radial, so drag past the center line to get into diameter or double the dimension, and then choose 3.5, enter. Close that out, hit Control S. Remember, save your part and the name at the very beginning. The book has you go through the entire thing, then save the part, save at the beginning. It's just safer that way. So that is going to now take us over to section 8.2 on page 248. Alright, one last thing we need to do before moving on to section 8.2 is let's quickly add a dimension to this vertical line. We'll choose the top end point here and our horizontal line here. Drag out, choose 4 inches, click OK. And now we can move over to section 8.2 on page 248. So with that, we'll click the Features tab, and we're going to choose a revolved boss base. Now notice something. When you don't have a closed sketch and you do certain features, it's going to prompt a warning like this. So in this revolve boss base feature we're trying to do, it says, hey, the sketch is currently open. A non-thin feature cannot be created, requires a closed sketch. Would you like it to be closed automatically? No, we do not want to, because again, this is a special circumstance where we want to employ the thin feature capability. So with this prompt, we're going to select no. And now we have the basis of a cup here. We're almost done with that. And what we're going to do over here in the properties on the left is under thin feature, we're going to keep our direction type one direction, but we're going to simply reverse it. So I'll take my scroll wheel on my mouse and I'll zoom in here again, and I'll just click it a couple times so you can see what's happening. We want the OD to be at this line here. That'll be the maximum OD. So with that, the final thing we need to do here is define a thickness, which the book says 3/16 or 3/16. Again, When entering dimensions, in most cases you can do addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, and in certain cases complex equations and or equations driven by, dimensions driven by other dimensions or tables. I'll show you that in a future video. But for now, we're going to stick to the simple 3/16, or 3 over 16, 3 divided by 16, which is going to be 0.1875. And then we can click OK, hit Control S, and saving often. And then that's going to take us to the top of page 249, where they want you to take note in the feature tree of how this says revolve-thin1. Now normally this feature would just simply say revolve 1 had it been done with a closed sketch, but this is noting that it's thin feature type. So this video is going to end here, as this is part 1. This is going to be the shortest video I will do, other than Reels, of course. So consider this an easy Friday. If I was your teacher, it's like, hey, no homework. So we will pick this up and finish the cup in part 2. But in the meantime, on the bottom of page 249, all the way to the top of page 251, take a look at the different types of thin feature components that you can change and work with an open sketch. And then next Friday, we'll start with section 8.3 on page 251, and we will finish out this cup/mug. You'll see why I'm calling it a mug, because there's a handle. Well, I guess I spoiled it and gave it away. I hope you learned something from this. Stay tuned next Friday. We'll get this cup/mug finished up. And then the following Friday, we will move on to the next special feature. That is all I have for you now. Take care, and I will see you in the next video.